So these are the examples of ionic bond wherein sodium is the element with atomic number 11. Its electronic configuration is 2, 8 and 1. So it loses one electron and becomes Na+. And chlorine is atomic number 17. Its electronic configuration is 2, 8 and 7. So it gains one electron and becomes Cl-. So ionic bonds are formed when positively and negatively charged ions are attracted by electrostatic forces. So if we take the consider the single pair of ions, one cation and one ion. So Coulomb's law quantitatively for any two charged particle is given by E is equal to K into Q1 Q2 divided by R. So where each ion's charge is represented by the symbol Q and the internuclear distance between the particle is represented by R. The proportionality constant K is equal to 2.31 into 10 raised to minus 28 joules per meter. So this value includes a charge of a single electron, that is 1.6022 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb for each ion. The equation can also be written using the charge of each ion expressed in Coulomb C incorporated in the constant. So this case the proportionality constant K will be equals to 8.99 into 109 joule per meter per C square. So in the given example, Q1 is equal to plus 1, that is 1.622 into 10 raised to minus 9. Q2 is equal to minus 1, that is 1.622 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulombs. So if Q1 and Q2 have opposite signs in NaCl, for example, so where Q1 is equal to plus 1 and Q2 is equal to minus 1 for Na plus and Cl minus respectively, then the potential energy E is negative, which means that the energy is released when oppositely charged ions are brought together from an infinite distance to form an isolated ion pair. So this is the plot of potential energy versus internuclear distance for the interaction between the gaseous Na plus ion and the gaseous Cl minus ion. The energy of the system reaches a minimum at a particular distance R0 when the attractive and repulsive interactions are balanced. So energy is always released when a bond is formed and correspondingly it acquires the energy to break a bond. This is shown in the case of the plot. In case of the plot, the green curve in the lower half is the maximum energy would be released when ions are infinitely close to each other at R is equal to 0, because ions occupy a space and have a structure with a positive nucleus being surrounded by the electron. However, they cannot be infinitely close to each other. So at a very short distances, the repulsive electron-electron interactions between the electrons on an adjacent ion become stronger than the attractive interactions between the ions with opposite charges, which are shown by the red curve in the upper half. So the total energy of the system is the balance between the attractive and the repulsive interaction. That is the purple curve in the plot shows the total energy of the system reaches a minimum at R0 where the point where the electrostatic repulsions and interactions are exactly balanced and the distance is same as experimentally measured the bond distance. So the lattice energy of nearly any ionic solid can be calculated rather accurately using the modified form of Coulomb's law, that is U is equal to minus K1 Q1 Q2 divided by R0, where U is, which is always a positive number, represent the amount of energy required to dissociate 1 mole of ionic solid into gaseous ion, which is called by the name lattice energy. So if we assume that if delta V is equal to 0, then lattice energy U is the approximately equal to the change in enthalpy delta H, that is mx solid m raised to plus n gaseous x raised to minus n gaseous, delta H is equal to U. As before, Q1 and Q2 are the charges of the ions. R0 is the internuclear distance. The lattice energy is directly related to the product of ion charges and inversely proportional to the internuclear distance. So, the value of the K depends upon the specific arrangement of ions in the solid lattice and their valence electron configuration. So, some of the factors affecting the lattice energy are: lattice energy mainly depends on the product of the charges of the ions. A salt having a metal cation with +2 charge M +2 and a non-metal with -2 x raised to -2 will have a lattice energy 4 times greater than that the one with M plus and X minus, assuming that the ions are of comparable size and have a similar internuclear distance. Say for example, the calculated value of lattice energy for sodium fluoride is 910 kilojoules per mole, whereas the lattice energy for MgO is 3795 kilojoules per mole. So that is, the lattice energy is inversely related to the internuclear distance and it is inversely proportional to the size of ions, which is illustrated in the figure 11. The lattice energy decreases for series of the elements, say from lithium halide to potassium halide, sodium halide, potassium halide, as the radius of X minus increases, because R0 in equation 1 is the sum of ionic radii of cation and anion. R0 increases as the cations become larger in the series. The magnitude of delta U decreases. A similar effect is seen when anion becomes larger in the series of the compound with the same cation. So, this lattice energy is very important in solubility. So, if we consider the trends in both lattice energy E1 and the hydration energy EH, the lattice energy depends upon the sum of the cation and anion radii, whereas the hydration has the separate anion and cation terms. So, generally, the solvation of small ions, typically cations, dominate the hydration energy because of 1 upon R square dependence. So, say for example, salts that contain larger anions, E1 does not change with much as R1 changes. That is because anion dominates R plus R minus term in the denominator of the formula E1. On the other hand, EH changes substantially with R plus, especially for small cations. So as a result, sulfate of small dionyl cations such as MgHSO4 are soluble, whereas the lower hydration of Ba plus 2 MbSO4 makes salt insoluble. So for small anions, E1 is more sensitive to R1, whereas EH does not depend on R plus as strongly. For fluorides and hydroxides, lithium chloride is slightly soluble, whereas cesium chloride is very soluble, and MgHOH twice is insoluble, whereas BHOH twice is very soluble. So putting both together, we can see the low solubility is most often encountered when cations and anions match well in their sizes, especially when one or both are multiply charged. So this is related to the lattice energy depends upon the sum of anion and cation radii, R plus and R minus, whereas the hydration energy has a separate anion and cation. Generally, solvation of small molecule, typically cations dominate the hydration energy because 1 upon R square dependence. These lattice energy help us to predict the compound solubilities. So let us consider Bohr-Haber-Saker for dissolving salt in water. So the vaporization of salt to produce gaseous ions are characterized by lattice enthalpy. The hydration of those ions to produce the solution. The enthalpy change for overall is the sum of these two processes. So we know that the enthalpy change for dissolution of a solid is positive, and so the solubility depends upon the enthalpy change for the overall process. So the solvation describes the interaction of a solvent with the dissolved molecules. So both ionized and uncharged molecules interact strongly with the solvent, and the strength and nature of this interaction influence many properties of the solute, including the solubility, reactivity and color, as well as the fact influencing the properties of the solvent such as viscosity and density. So, the solvation is the process of reorganizing the solvent and solute molecule into solvation complexes. So, the solvation involves bond formation, hydrogen bonding and van der Waals forces. Solvation of a solute by water is called hydration. Solubility of solid compounds depends on the competition between the lattice energy and the solvation, including entropy effect related to changes in the solvent structure. So this is the sodium ion solvated by water molecule, wherein we can see the positive sodium ion is negative, surrounded by negative. Thank you one and all.